So thank you for tuning in. We're doing our regional interviews to try to make sure people across the entire state know we each need to play a role in advocating to end homelessness. Our guest today is Delecia, who is a life skills advocate at Stepping Stone Emergency Housing, which is a shelter in Anoka. She has also already testified this year. She's already telling our lawmakers how important it is to end homelessness. And she's somebody that also not only is a great staff member, but has experienced homelessness herself. So she brings all sorts of knowledge, all sorts of input and wisdom into this work. So we're thrilled to have you, Delecia. Our first question for you is, you personally, you've testified on this already, but just can you let us know why is advocacy and needing more resources for shelters? Why do you know that is so important?
For me, advocacy is very important because, like myself in just general life, I don't know where to start, right? I don't. So when I became homeless, it was a total new thing to me. It was something that had never happened before, and so you don't know the steps. You don't know, okay, well, who do I talk to? Who do I go to? Where can I find this? Where can I find that? And it's like, your brain overloads itself. And it's like, you can probably Google it, but it's like so many tabs you can choose from. And so, I feel like it's very important to have someone, even if they come to a shelter and they can't get the shelter, but they have, the right resources. And even sometimes, they don't have the right questions. But if you bring it up like, oh, maybe are you in this situation? You should take this paper for this resource. And it might, might register to them then, but they don't really know what to ask for. And that was a huge problem for me. It's just starting. And so they have a voice, but sometimes that voice is hidden because one, they could be scared. It's a whole new situation. Sometimes it's not a whole new situation, it's a old situation, but other things occur, in life as far as drugs or anything like that. And so to have somebody um, be that voice is very important. Um, really, really important. I know to me that was one of the things that I didn't have, and I chose to just push myself. But not everybody has that, that courage to do so. So I feel like it's super important to have advocacy or somebody to have that voice for you.
Right. So, and now, you are that voice for so many people. How important is it for the guests at the shelter that you're working at? Obviously, they don't know right away that you've been homeless before, but does it ever come up in conversations? And has it been helpful for you as you're trying to help other folks coming into the shelter system?
Yeah, it's been usually when we have conversations about it, it's usually they're upset and they're just like, oh, you don't know, you don't understand. And then that's when my opportunity is to say, yeah, I got you. I understand. Slept in my car with my 1 year daughter. I understand completely. And to give them my story, to help them see how I did it. And I always say, just because I did it this way doesn't mean you can do it this way or you have to do it this way. It's super important, and to be an ear because I didn't have that for when I was homeless, and just to make their day or their lives a little bit easier knowing that somebody truly understands. I mean, because we all want to be not remorseful, I can't think of the word, but we all want to be sensitive to what they're going through here. And but I think it gets a little bit easier knowing that somebody actually been through the steps and through the life that they're going through. And so that's why it's super important for me to be willing to listen, because I wanted somebody to be willing to listen to me. And so, especially with some of them have kids, but they can't have their kids here, and it's super duper important because everybody's going through so much in so many different situations that aren't the same like mine, but are kind of the same thing, but I just feel, and I keep saying it over, but it's really important to listen, because you never know, somebody's background or their story. So
I think it's, we also interviewed the executive director at Stepping Stone Emergency Housing, Julie, and one of her key points was you have to listen. So it seems like it's a part of the culture there. And just, thinking of now in your role as a staff member, just really quickly, is there anything that you would point out that you feel is really vital? You mentioned that first step of knowing what to do. But now that you're working there a bit, is there anything else that you think is really important for folks to be able to have access to once they come into the shelter?
um it varies. I know here, transportation is a really big deal, because we might have them, they can we can call like non-emergency and they can get there, they can't get back, and so that's, or they can't get to the pharmacy, or just stuff like that. Transportation has been a really really big deal, um lately with a lot of the residents. um and another thing that has come up just recently has been like, um a lot of people have been dealing with substance abuse, and so having like those therapists or those type of doctors being available even through Zoom or through a real appointment or something like that, it would really take a turn, I feel, in some people's lives. And a lot of people here don't have structure because their lives kind of been turned upside down. And that's one thing to my job, is trying to get people a structure to life, to prioritize, right? And um so that's those are the key things: mental health, drug abuse, and transportation, that I feel would be a big turnaround if we had those resources.
Nice. Well, thank you. So, so many people are hearing from you. Like I said, you're testifying to lawmakers, and some people have seen that recording.
Mhm.
It's amazing. But I also want to make sure you have an opportunity to share something with the other folks across the state that might be watching this. So, do you have a message for advocates across the state?
Yeah. Um, Experiencing homelessness and working with the homelessness, uh, I can't express it more, but to listen. That it's an everyday thing, but to be engaged while you're listening to people, and of unfortunately some, or even you can say unfortunately and fortunately, some people have not been, some advocates have not been homeless, so they haven't walked those shoes. So just to bring, you know, their level down a bit, to really understand what these people are going through. You can't understand fully because and even me, for me, I don't understand fully for some of these people because I don't have a lot of the issues that they have, but I have an inkling on, what they're going through. And even for me, I bring myself down, to where they are so I can really understand what they need. And sometimes it's just a listening ear. Sometimes it's, advice. Sometimes it's telling them how great you see their progress, or you know, telling them that you're proud of them, seeing, you know, that you see them making a plan for themselves, you know, just key words to um, make them feel better about where they are in life, because nobody wants to be homeless. Sometimes it's just an occurrence, you know, but I feel that if we all just take a little time for each other, it would, you know, make life a little bit more easier, even though, you know, where they're at isn't the best part of their lives. But just, I always make a point to tell them that, you know, this may be your lowest, but keep looking to your highest. Always have a plan. It may change, but always have a plan. And so, you know, I just try to keep that encouragement of just to keep encouraging words, and, you know, and just to listen. That's the best part is just listening.
That's, that's one of the best things we want to hear, because we want people to listen to what you're saying as well,
Yeah.
right? So hopefully people listen to you and listen to other people. We can't solve homelessness if people that are experiencing it aren't making the solutions. So it's really reflected in your character, your personality, and stepping stone. So thank you so much for everything, and thank you for letting us in.
Yeah.